Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chef Guru from guruscooking.com with Palak Paneer. Boil 1 liter of water in a vessel to which you will add half a teaspoon of salt followed by half a teaspoon of sugar. Now, what are we doing here? We are trying to boil our spinach or palak. And if you want to retain the beautiful green colors of your spinach, you have to use this trick of adding a little sugar and a little salt before you boil your palak. So I'm adding 1 kg of palak to this vessel of boiling water, and you can see that the palak is almost overflowing from my vessel, but not to worry, it will reduce to a very less quantity in a minute or two. So after around 2 minutes you will see your palak has already reduced. It will reduce even more after some time. Over the years people have been asking me on how to retain the beautiful green colors of the palak. So one way is by adding salt and little sugar that we already saw to the boiling water. The other important way is by cooking this palak in an open pan. As you can see and observe in the video, I'm not covering this vessel with a lid, because when you cover it with a lid, all the gases, they are not able to escape and they turn your palak dark into color. So it's very important that you cook your palak in an open pan, just like we are doing right now. And then there is a final trick which we'll see in a couple of seconds from now. So it's been almost like 4 to 5 minutes that I've been cooking this palak. We will now put off the flame, and I've taken ice cold water. To this ice cold water we'll be adding the boiled palak that we just boiled. This is another trick to maintain and retain the green, beautiful light colors of your palak. So you have to do this the moment you boil and take your palak. So once we have added the palak here to the cold water, we won't waste much time. As soon as we complete adding all the palak to the cold water, we'll take a juicer or a blender and blend all this palak. And of course, when we blend, we are not going to use this water. This water that will be left out will be drained and discarded. So we don't need any of those waters. Neither the water that you saved when you were cooking the palak will be used by you, nor this cold water will be used by you. Both of these waters will be thrown. The only thing that you will be consuming here is the palak. So once you have blended it, you get this beautiful color, as you can see. After blending this palak is what I got. Let's prepare our pan now. I've taken a pan to which I'm adding 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Once the pan is hot, we'll add half a teaspoon of jeera. I'm cooking at a medium to high flame. We'll now add half a teaspoon, not a teaspoon, we'll add half a tablespoon of chopped garlic. Do not add too much of garlic, otherwise your palak paneer would taste heavy on this garlic. So we'll saute this for around 1 to 1.5 minutes, after which we'll be adding onions and green chili paste. I've taken 2 onions and 2 green chilies, made them into a paste using my blender, and that is what we'll be adding now. So let's saute these onions, green chilies, garlic and cumin seeds together for around 4 to 5 minutes. We'll add half a teaspoon of salt. What salt does is it enhances and emancipates the process of cooking your onions at a faster pace than the usual pace. So that's why I added half a teaspoon of salt now. Later on we'll be adding more salt to taste. Since the time I added onions and green chili paste, it's been almost 4 to 5 minutes now, and we'll add 7 medium-sized tomatoes puree, and we will reduce the flame to low flame now and just keep simmering this, because if you do not turn the flame to low, the tomatoes boil very quickly and they tend to fall over everywhere. So you just reduce the flame, and we'll add some spices now. To begin with, we'll go on by adding a little chili, so around 1 teaspoon of red chili powder and 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. We'll give this a nice mix. And once these spices incorporate, they would take a little time to cook along with the tomatoes. So the best way to cook tomatoes, as I always say, is to cover your utensil with a lid. So I'm covering my pan with a lid, and we'll cook this for around 20 minutes. And while cooking for 20 minutes, in between we would check this once or twice so that the tomatoes don't stick to the bottom of the pan. Let's check. Give it a light stir and check if it is not sticking to the pan, then it's pretty good. And we can put the lid back on and then cook it all together total for 20 minutes. It's been almost 20 minutes now since I poured in the tomatoes and added those spices. You can see most of the oil has emancipated and is appearing at the top, which means the tomatoes are now properly cooked. We'll add our spinach puree now. Such a beautiful color we got. That's really nice. We'll add this and we'll give it a nice stir and keep mixing this together until most of the spinach incorporates into the tomatoes and we have a lot of greens rather than a lot of reds. Now what most of the people in the restaurants they do is they do not even want this red color that appears at all, and they want a very creamy green color. So instead of adding tomatoes, people usually add yogurt or curd or buttermilk along with a little fresh whipped cream. So what that does is it offers your spinach gravy an authentic, beautiful light green color, but then you don't get the taste that you would like to have. So we'll add 1 teaspoon of garam masala now. Remember, we've already added half a teaspoon of salt while cooking the onions. So it's time for us to add some more salt. We'll add 1 teaspoon of salt now and give this a nice mix. Like I was talking about the color. So the look and feel of the spinach is important. So you may add curd, but then you lose the taste. If you want the taste, you have to add the tomatoes. And as you can see, I've lost a little green color of mine, but it doesn't matter. As long as you have the taste, the color may be important, but not a lot. We'll add 350 grams of paneer or Indian cottage cheese. And we would let this simmer at a very low flame to cook for around 2-3 minutes. And then your Palak Paneer would be ready to be served hot as a side dish with some chapatis or naan, the way you like it. Some people even prefer it with rice, though I prefer it with the chapatis. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching.